Chapter 7. The House of Mourning. Threshold. The silence of God. There are rooms in the soul that only open through tears. We avoid them, fearing emptiness. But inside waits a presence too gentle to rush. In the house of mourning, the walls breathe with memory, and love at last becomes real. The pause. Before you begin, do not rush the silence. There are rooms in the soul that only open through tears. What feels like loss may be love, breaking the walls of your heart. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart. Ecclesiastes 7:2. There are places in life we never choose to enter. We arrive not by decision, but by unraveling of everything we thought was secure. The house of mourning is such a place. It is not made of stone or sorrow. It is built from the moments that refuse to make sense. The nights when prayers sound like breathing, and the heart must learn to live without answers. Solomon said it is better to go there than to the house of feasting. Not because suffering is holy, but because truth lives there. Feasting hides mortality. Mourning reveals it. And only when we face death do we begin to understand life. There are two kinds of pain: the pain that closes and the pain that opens. The first builds walls, the second builds doors. In the house of mourning, everything opens: the eyes, the hands, the heart. What we lose becomes the space where God can finally be felt. Grief is not the absence of God. It is the trembling of the heart that realizes He has never left. Grieve not only what has died, but what we never knew until death revealed it. The beauty of ordinary days, the holiness of shared breath, the miracle of simply being alive together. Love is never clearer than when it costs us everything to hold it. In that sacred holding, the long months, the quiet hospital rooms, the whispered prayers too tired for words, the soul begins to awaken. And sometimes, when the suffering ends, it is not the dying who are freed, but the living. Jesus lived in the house of mourning. He did not escape it or sanitize it. He stood at Lazarus' tomb and wept. He looked at Jerusalem and wept. He walked into death carrying all our tears. If he wept, then tears are not weakness. They are worship. They are the language of God who loves enough to feel everything we feel. The house of mourning is not punishment. It is participation. It is where we share the heart of God, the ache of compassion, the longing for restoration. Sorrow is not the opposite of joy. It is the womb that gives birth to it. Every resurrection begins with a funeral. The morning after death often feels too bright. You drive home under an ordinary sky and wonder how the world kept spinning. But if you listen carefully, beneath the ache there is a whisper, a pulse of joy, so gentle you might mistake it for silence. It says, love did not end. It changed form. Realize that mourning is not only for what you've lost, but for the love that finally broke free of its limits. When we emerge from the house of mourning, we carry a different kind of laughter. It is not loud. It does not deny pain. It is the laughter of the one who has seen the end and found God waiting there. To live after loss is to walk with new eyes, to taste the sweetness of small things, to bless the moment before it vanishes, to know that joy is not fragile after all. It is eternal, because love is. Under the sun, beyond the sun, clarification. Under the sun, we avoid sorrow like a plague, closing the door on rooms built for tears. We fear that grief will unmake us, but loss is a shadow of love, and the heart breaks only where it has been full. Beyond the sun, in the house of mourning, God weeps too. He does not erase sorrow. He inhabits it. Each tear is a baptism. Each ache a pulse of resurrection. Love does not end. It transforms. Every funeral is the rehearsal of joy. Echo. You wept, and love wept with you, until the tears turned into light.